Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Appreciate everybody coming out today. We're going to get started here. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk Barger, call the roll, please.
Master Combs.
Here.
Master Barger.
Here.
Master Tudor.
Here.
Master Bodkin.
Present.
Judge Taylor.
Here. At this time, I'd like to ask Pastor Mike Johnson from the Richmond Church of Christ to come up, lead us in a word of prayer, please. Appreciate you being here today.
Yes, sir. Our God, we pause in your presence today in gratitude for the day ahead and for the safety of the night to get us to this point. We come to you, God, honoring you as the great judge of heaven and earth. And we thank you for all of your good benefits every day. We appreciate the opportunity to live in this country, in a free society, conducting business and carrying out the work that allows us to live free. We thank you, having just passed Memorial Day, for all those who gave their lives so that we might enjoy this freedom.
Amen.
We thank you now for those who continue to serve. We ask your blessings, that they will serve the public trust, and that they will defend what is right and honorable and good. Now, God, we come before you as this court begins. Pray that you will grant wisdom to those who make the decisions that affect this county and this area, remembering that we're all equal in your sight and that we should all be treated as fairly and properly as possible, and that we will be given the opportunities to live in a secure place, to develop our lives and our families in the best possible way. We pray for the good of this county, for the good of this state. We pray, God, for the good of this country. In the name of Jesus, we pray.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. If everybody will please rise. Sheriff, you'll lead us in the pledge, please.
Face the flag, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, Sheriff. Guys, y'all had a chance to look at the minutes from last meeting. This time I need a motion and a second.
So move. Second.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Tudor.
Yes.
Master Bodkin.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Glenna, Treasurer's Report for Tuesday.
Okay. I handed out our fund balance on 4/30 of 2015 is $6,417,408.99. Right now, the general fund as of 4/30 was at 87.2% on the revenues and 58.2% on expenditures. The road fund revenues are at 90.6%, and the expenditures are 87.7%. The jail fund revenues are at 80.7%. The expenditures are at 90.6%. The revenues for the CSEP is at 36.6%, and our expenditures are at 42.5%. The revenues for the 911 fund are at 76.3%, and our expenditures are 72.5%. Also, you all received in your Dropbox the first reading of the budget.
One of the things that I will make mention of, and I know the budget, but since Glenna's already up here, I know the budget's a little on down on the agenda. We'll go ahead and discuss it. But I want to thank you for your hard work. I want to thank the magistrates. I want to thank the department heads. It was really all of us jumped in on this budget and really worked together. I appreciate you being up here this weekend. I really like the summary. It was a great idea. It really explains what we've changed since our draft, and I appreciate it.
Thank
you. Guys, do y'all have any questions?
I have one. Glenn, is that something we need to let Mark look over and make sure we're covered under liabilities on those, both of those, about the same?
I think he did. You did compare the two last time, didn't you?
Well, you know, for that amount of money, $242,000, you can almost have a doctor on call 24 hours a day. There's a lot of doctors probably don't make that. But I'm not saying that's what we can go to, but we need to look at it. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, but I know that we have a doctor with these companies, these services on call. You know, you have your nurse there, which we have now 7 hours a day, 7 days a week and 12 hours a day. That if they come to something that's an issue, they'll call the doctor, and the doctor actually, the doctor does come in. But for me, that what I see now is with all the people coming in on heroin, meth, pills, or whatever, is that you have that nurse capability on your floors. And let me say this, that a lot of your jails are 24/7 because of the problems we're having with the drugs coming in. You know, the people coming off the drug and things like that. So having that nurse there on that floor when that person comes in at least 12 hours a day, 7 days a week is something I think we need with what we deal with now.
Will they come back at late hours of the evening in case you need them?
They're on call. If
Okay.
they're not there, we pick up the phone and call them.
Okay.
And one thing too is if we don't have nurses and these people have to seek medical attention at the hospital, emergency room, we have to send a deputy with them. You're with them until they are brought back.
You know, for 7 days, we had to be with that person for 7 days, 24/7.
Yeah.
And the next day, he went in, the very next day, we had another guy admitted out there.
And then not only that, but Glenna, correct me if I'm wrong, if that inmate doesn't have insurance, we pay the hospital bill or the doctor bill.
If they're incarcerated at the time and there's no insurance that we can get, yes.
We have a claim this month for $10,000.
Yes. Now, they did pass a new law that if a claim is over $1,000, if it's over $1,000, then we can send it off, even if it's a county inmate, to the state, and they will pay all but the $1,000 of it, and we have to pay that $1,000, which is a lot better than it used to be. It used to be if it was a $10,000 bill, we were responsible for the whole $10,000.
Got a 10 in here.
Now, is that any inmate or is that just state inmates?
That's any inmate.
Any inmate, so, okay.
Yeah, but we have to pay the full amount. What they do is they reimburse us for it. So it's going to show the full amount being paid, but the state's sending a check for all but $1,000, and then Doug has been using the commissary money, which can be used for medical, and paying the $1,000. So it's really not costing the jail budget anything, but it does have to pass through the jail budget in order to get paid.
Okay.
This is just good information for the public to know what it's costing the citizens, the taxpayers.
Yeah.
And it's not something that we like to do, it's something that we have to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We like your coverage and we like your criteria. We need you to establish what exactly that you do need. Let's bid it one more time, just to see.
Yeah.
There's got to be some large companies out there someplace across the United States that would be willing to take a bid at it. Let's try them.
Good.
It's great.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Any other questions on the first reading of our budget? Anybody else have any other questions? If not, I'd like a motion and a second, please.
So move.
Second.
Call the roll.
Master Buchan,
Yes.
Master Combs,
Yes.
Master Berger.
Yes.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Thanks. Thanks, Glenna. Appreciate that. At this time, I'm going to ask Bill Fort to come up and give an announcement of Kentucky Changers real quick. I think they're coming in this month. Or I'm sorry, June.
We're close.
Yeah. And then Katie, you'll be next, okay?
I'm Bill Fort, and I'm the pastor at First Baptist Church, and with me is Larry Baker today. Larry is the Director of Missions for the Tates Creek Baptist Association, 40-plus churches in Richmond and Berea. You know, we came last time when you were in Berea to tell you about Kentucky Changers and to talk a little bit more about the partnership that we have. Kentucky Changers was in Madison County last year. Unusual but wonderful that Kentucky Changers would come back for a second year. It's a ministry that involves youth. In our case, there will be 300-plus youth that will be coming on June the 13th and spend almost the entirety of the next week in Madison County working on 28 different projects. Without the partnership with the county, we couldn't do this. The 300 youth and 75 or so adults that will be coming will be doing various things on houses, from working on roofs, working on handicap ramps, working on decks, painting, and siding. It's a wonderful experience for our community. There are people who will be receiving service and ministry who could not afford to do it themselves. It's a wonderful partnership. We've been looking forward to this since last year. The only thing that we lack now is crossing some T's and dotting I's. So we thank you for that partnership. So when you're out on that week, June 13th and most of the next week, if you see some signs in some yards that say Kentucky Changers or Tates Creek Baptist Association, stop and take a look, give encouragement to the youth. They will be doing all the work under supervision. It's excellent for them. It's excellent from the community. I think my friend Larry said last time it's a win-win, and it is for everybody. So allow us just simply to say thank you for this wonderful partnership, and if you have any questions, we would be happy to answer them.
Bill, I would appreciate it maybe if y'all could send us kind of a little schedule.
Absolutely.
Maybe of where
Yeah.
some of these places are.
Okay.
I would love my magistrates to be able to go out and really see.
Absolutely. In fact, I'll get that to you tomorrow. I'll run it by with names and addresses and everything that would be important.
Do you have any local youth involved in this bill?
We do.
Good.
Yeah, and what will happen is that even though it's in our community, they will be in Madison Southern's gym like every other youth from across the state. So when they commit to that project, they'll be with other youth, they'll be eating there, they'll be getting up in the morning. It will be all in, all the time.
Good. Thanks.
The only bad thing is, this is the last year we can participate.
Well, we may be able to participate again, but we won't be able to participate next year.
Yeah.
We know that for sure. And Larry, I don't know if you have any idea of when they could come back. Of course, there are a lot of counties in Kentucky that would love to have them come, and we feel very privileged that they would come for a second time. But literally, youth from Pikeville to Paducah have paid themselves to come, to be here, and to do this work. And it's an impressive work. There are some impressive youth. It's going to be a great week.
Yeah. Great. Thank
Any
you.
other questions?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all very much. We appreciate the partnership.
Katie? Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me. I spoke with you a couple months ago when you all were down in Berea. I'm with the Berea Victory Garden Blitz, and you all chose to support the project financially, so I wanted to give you a quick update about how it went. We met the 15th, 16th, and 17th were our main work days, and we were successful in installing 132 raised garden beds in Berea, serving more than 90 families. And we had about 115 volunteers that we organized, and you all were some of the major sponsors among 52 other sponsors. So we're really pleased with this project. We're planning on doing it again next year, but I just wanted to say thank you all for your confidence in this project and for your support. So keep an eye out for the raised garden beds. They're getting full.
You had to turn some people away, didn't you?
Oh my gosh, we did. Especially because the Richmond Register ran a great front page article about it. And I wish we could have we could have easily done 50 more. So next year we'll probably have a much higher goal about how many we install. And we put some up in Richmond as well and southern Madison County. It wasn't just in Berea. But if we're going to really spread throughout the county, we're going to really need to marshal some more volunteers.
Sometimes advertisement gets you in trouble.
I know, but I'm glad. It was a good problem to have.
Yeah.
So
Thank you very much.
thank you all. I really
We're
appreciate
glad
your
to be a
support.
part of it.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Hackbert, Berea College Entrepreneurship. Thank you all for being here today.
That's good, though.
Hey, Sheriff, you want to flip the lights off there?
Be able to see them or not.
Let me ask y'all, would y'all rather the lights be off so we can see the screen, or do we need to see the boards? Or?
See the screen.
Screen, okay.
That's the idea was for.
Okay.
I'll begin. Good morning. The Berea College Entrepreneurship for the Public Good Program's Cohort 12 is appreciative of your time to present a summary of our work over the last 5 years that now leads to a State of Kentucky Trail Town Program application for Madison County and the City of Berea. My name is Dustin Watts. I'm a rising sophomore, and my intended major is Applied Math and Science, and I'm from Letcher County.
Hello, my name is David Newswanger. I'm from Monteverde, Costa Rica. I'm an intended computer science major and rising sophomore. Our agenda this morning is to very briefly recap our case studies, experiences as adventure tourists, intercept interviews, observations of small businesses, and the continued escalating value of social media for small businesses and travelers. We had a hunch that tourists were coming into Madison County and Berea nationally and intentionally stimulating economic development and contributing new money to the area.
Previously, in June 2014, we secured a letter from your predecessor based upon our summer fieldwork in the 8 counties of the CRAD region. The judge saw the value of adventure tourism coupled with the cultural assets of Madison County and Berea. In November 2014, the City of Berea Tourism formed a committee to investigate the value of the Kentucky Trail Town program for Madison County and Berea.
We acknowledge the uncertainty of adventure tourism as an economic sector in the Berea community, but we hope to provide clarity of how its low cost but revenue-generating benefits. You yourselves may not be cyclists, hikers, kayakers, or even motorcyclists, but there is probably something that you do to recreate, and in that capacity you exchange your hard-earned money for thrills, funds, adventures, and hospitality. In 6 months, the City of Berea Trail Town Committee has 1. Developed routes, 2. Identified the cultural and historic assets along these routes, 3. Formed a merchant committee, 4. Formed a signage committee, 5. Formed a PR and education committee, and 6. Formed a volunteer committee. These unpaid workers see the economic value that Trail Town can contribute to the economy of this community. We hope to reveal the value to you and secure your letter of support.
In our first week in the EPG Summer Institute, we learned from you your hopes, dreams, and economic development vision for Madison County. We linked that vision to our hunch that tourists were coming into Berea nationally and intentionally stimulating economic development and contributing new money to the area.
Last year, EPG's program members interviewed 24 Abington, Virginia small business owners, 64 business owners in Berea, Kentucky. They conducted 204 Eastern Kentucky adventure tourism intercept interviews. We head out tomorrow to do the Creeper Trail experiencing the rental of mountain bikes and pickup shuttle services from White Top to Damascus and from Damascus to Abington.
Last year, we met with Tanya Triplett, Director of Visitor Services at Abington Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Kevin Costello, Director of Economic Development in Washington County, Virginia. They will now reveal research and economic impact findings of the benefits that adventure tourism has brought to the community.
Last year, we reported that 1/3 of Abington travelers are retired and are traveling no more than 3 hours away to Abington. They are coming from the east and south, but primarily from West Virginia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Abington sees very little tourists from the west.
56% of travelers use the internet to plan their trip and on average are staying 2.2 nights.
2 Fridays ago, we attended the combined Berea and Richmond Chamber of Commerce luncheon in Richmond. At that event, we recognized the 4 following facts. First, the state of Kentucky travel and tourism industry contributed over $13 billion to the Kentucky economy in 2014, making it the 3rd largest industry in the state.
Second, Madison County is ranked 8th out of the 120 Kentucky state counties for travel expenditures.
Third, we have seen an increase of 19% in the city's budget for tourism in fiscal years from 2013 and 2014.
Fourth, at the same time, you've seen a decrease in restaurant revenue tax in 2013 to 2014. Taxes from tourism come from restaurant revenue taxes.
Previous to Friday's lunch, Professor Hackber attended the Shaping Our Appalachian Region Strategy Conference on the first day of class on May 11th in Pikeville. He sat into a presentation by Rodney Hendrickson, Director of the London Laurel County Tourism Commission. Rodney's presentation helps to place Madison County and the City of Berea's travel and tourism performances in contrast. Laurel County enjoyed almost $153 million in tourism expenditures in 2014 and is in the top 2 counties in eastern Kentucky for tourism expenditures. In the past 3 years, 6 events have been a significant component of the Laurel tourism economy, which we visited Tuesday of last week.
The first event is the Red Bud Ride, a cycling event that started in 2008 with only 26 participants, which were mostly local. It now attracts over 1,200 hardcore cyclists from across U.S. to London each April. They come from 22 states, 96% of them are out of town. It's clearly a multi-county event.
Second, the weekend after Memorial Day, London will host the largest 3D archery tournament in the entire world, with over 2,000 competitors from 38 states. The attendees were probably close to 4,000 total, and for the last 2 years, hotels have been filled from Jellicoe to Berea, which is a 70-mile radius.
Third is the 2014 Laurel Lake Triathlon. It had 157 competitors from as far away as Torrance, California. It is an event consisting of a 1.2-mile swim, a 56-mile bike ride, and a 13.1-mile run. There are many local spectators, and there is an expectation that the event will double this year.
Fourth, with the Daniel Boone National Forest, London County Tourism hosts a Sheltoe 12-hour extreme race that consists of trail runs, paddle, mountain bike, orienteering, and had 100 competitors, only 2 of whom were local.
Fifth, for 5 days, London Laurel County gets the top 144 teenage golfers in the world in London for the Lipari Energy Junior Championship, each of whom will be traveling with supportive family members. Think the PGA Tour for teenagers. Almost every PGA Touring pro played on this tour as a teenager.
Sixth, due to the success of the Red Bud Ride, London has started a smaller fall ride called the Thriller Ride, with 175 cyclists from a 9-state area, including North Dakota, of which 80% of our guests will be from out of town.
On Tuesday, this EPG cohort visited Wildcat Harley-Davidson, an award-winning small business in the state and host of the Kentucky State Hog Rally. It's attended by over 1,000 Harley-Davidson owners who are reported to be the most courteous travelers, the best tippers, and they leave the hotel rooms in the nicest conditions.
We reviewed their hog website and found that the top 10 reasons they came to Kentucky and drive by Berea on their way to London. Because of time, we will expose only the first 5 to tell the story. 1. Hospitality. 2. Beautiful sweeping vistas and beautiful mountains. 3. Coal mining heritage. 4. Moonshining. 5. Ride the Boone Trace through the gateway to western expansion of this great country.
7th, London Laurel Tourism reported that their hotel sales went up from over $12.5 million to $14.1 million.
8. This is how hotel sales affect other parts of the London Laurel economy.
This year, London Laurel expects increases in 2015 in the 4 areas reported by month.
So, you can see the London Laurel has a wide variety of adventure outdoor tourism opportunities and is a very important part of their local economy. Tourism events are a significant part of their tourism program.
Previously, I mentioned that we learned 5 facts related to Madison County that aligns to this last slide. Rita Smart, our state representative, reported that in Madison County, for every dollar Madison County tourists spend, Madison County received $15 in expenditures, a higher ROI than the London Laurel County tourism.
Okay, my last and 9th London Laurel County statement. Did I mention that London Laurel has started the Trail Town certification process?
We are continuing to travel outside the building to talk to real adventure tourists, people like Matt Krajewski, a trans-American bicyclist, in preparation for this meeting.
We traveled to Damascus, Virginia, Livingston, Kentucky, London Laurel County, and Middlesboro, Kentucky.
The 20 EPGers also spent the day in Livingston, Kentucky, a town of 280, the second certified Kentucky trail town, with their mayor, outfitters, and small business owners. We have trips planned to Olive Hill and Moorhead, also certified trail towns this summer.
Cohort 12 also drove to Middlesboro to attend a combined Main Street revitalization program of building a corridor to the Cumberland Gap Park and Boone Trace Trail. We know that you have discerned the historic and economic value of the Boone Trace Trail. We heard how trail work is recognized and supported by foundations and grant givers.
We are required to interview a wide variety of ATV, water paddlers, horseback riders, rock climbers, and zipliners as adventure tourists. We will focus on those outsiders, those travelers and tourists that can benefit Madison County.
First, Johnny Malloy, the author of Canoeing and Kayaking in Kentucky, told us that day kayakers spend a total of $50 per person per day.
Second, overnight kayakers spend $120 per person per day.
Third, day cyclists spend a total of $43.81 per person per day.
Fourth, overnight bikers spend $33.54 on food and drink, $31.65 on transportation, $20.85 on recreation and miscellaneous, and $17.04 on souvenirs. It adds up for a total of $150.93 per person per day.
Fifth, day hikers spend a total of $60.26 per day.
Sixth, last year we discovered that the Indian Fort, Brushy Fork, and Anglin Falls group hikers spend a total of $148.89 per person per day. And in Damascus, one of us interviewed an Appalachian trail hiker who exposed that he spent $3,000 before the trip on gear and $5,000 during the Appalachian trail hike on accommodation, supplies, food, sunblock, etc.
Most significantly, for these unique segments of the adventure tourist, we have discovered that only our first 9 days of trail systems have a wide array of economic impacts on towns because the users of these trails spend their dollars in these towns.
Since Livingston became a trail town in 2013, 3 new businesses have emerged that focus on providing services to users of these trails.
In Livingston, the Main Street Diner, formerly Lil's for 20 years, exchanged hands because of the health of the building owner, Jerry Franks. Jerry hired Tina Tyree and Melissa Bond as managers, who are currently grossing over $150,000 a year.
In London, the 10-year-old small business Wildcat Harley-Davidson displays a visual map. It illustrates the number of customers that drive past Berea from all over the country and the world. They even said 99% of their customers are happy with their adventure experience in London, Laurel County.
While observing the small businesses, we also assessed how they use social media to draw customers. During the EPG Summer Institute, we learned about the role of social media in bringing in economic support to the community. I would like to know, how many of you have traveled as tourists or as a traveler in the last 6 months? How many of you have used the internet or social media in planning your trip? In your trips, how many of you have used social media and specifically TripAdvisor?
TripAdvisor is an online platform that provides information and reviews of travel regarding content. When you search Berea, you discover 19 attractions, 111 forums, 13 lodging establishments, and 42 restaurants. This is just one platform, and depending on the age, destination, and starting point, travelers rely on and use these to travel and for their expenditure decisions.
Our EPG reviews last year at the end of the summer were read by 18,124 TripAdvisor visitors. This demonstrates that utilizing social media in promoting Madison County's local, cultural, natural, and historical assets is crucial. It is free advertising. It rebrands the region and attracts outside tourists who indirectly contribute in building a sustainable local economy. This is why, in our summer work, we analyze the social presence of local businesses.
So we are coming to an end of this presentation. We want to leave you with 2 thoughts and 1 ask. First, we have come to an understanding of how critical signage is for travelers and tourists both in and out of town and on the various trail systems, reinforced by our author contact and our personal experiences as hikers, cyclists, and kayakers. Once you have applied to become a trail town, there are a number of specific standards that can be addressed in regards to the trail. One of those standards is a trailhead.
One sign in the trailhead, a popular entrance point to the trail, that may be supported or enriched with information to make the experience better, taking into account trail routes, circulation patterns, town centers, and adjacencies to resources and amenities. This provides information through maps, trail rules and regulatory usage, trail mileage, safety/wildlife alerts, and current events.
A second type of sign is the interpretive signs that explain natural, historical, and cultural features for trail users. An example is the well-marked Boone Trace Trail from southern Madison County to Fort Boonesboro.
Second, we would like to review the action steps that have gotten us to this point. 1. We have proven that there is a collective urgency to create a Kentucky Trail Town Task Committee, a task force. 2. The City of Berea put into writing a letter to formally signal to the state and the Office of Adventure Tourism the city's support of the Trail Town Task Force. 3. We have a trailhead, and 4. We have 5 committees posed to go before the Tourism Commission demonstrating a collaborative agreement with the City of Berea and the College Committee.
And now for the ask. In order for Berea to become a certified trail town in the state of Kentucky, we require a signed letter of support from the Judge Executive of Madison County. We would like to formally request that you approve and sign this letter of intent to the Kentucky Trail Town Program.
Thank you for your time. We would like to open the floor for any clarification questions that you might have. Who would like to go first?
Is Richmond a trail town too, or just Berea at this point?
Only Berea.
Hi, I'm Louisa Summers, Chair of the Trail Town Committee. Berea is applying to be a Kentucky Trail Town.
Okay. Are there any plans in the future to have a nationwide bicycle trail like the Redbud ride or anything like that?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. That's a two-part question. Currently, Berea is a stop on the Trans-America Bicycle Trail. It is a stop, it is a destination, it is an overnight. And your second question, is there plans to be a stop?
Mm-hmm.
Not on a national, we already are on the national, but the question is, are we planning to be a stop? Yes, that's the purpose of this. If Berea becomes a trail town, we have identified 9 bicycle trails, 6 hiking trails, 3 kayaking, or 3 to 5 kayaking trails that will be submitted as part of the application. There's 3 easy, 3 moderate, 3 difficult. So all of those will move forward. All of that work has already been done. At this point, we need a letter of support from the executive judge. And it includes elements of Madison County, including the Blue Trace Trail, and
Right.
the kayaking trails include a lot of trails in this northern Madison.
Yeah, it goes outside the city limits of Berea. It goes out in the county. And that Boone's Trace Trail ends at the Fort Boonesboro, is that correct?
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How many students does this involve?
There are currently 20 students in our cohort, but we've had previous cohorts working on this as well.
I commend you for that.
And I assume this group works with the committee. I assume there's a Berea committee.
We have a Berea Trail Town Committee.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct. The Trail Task Force has the 5 required committees, which is part of the application that goes forward to the Kentucky Tourism Department. There are merchants on there. There's members of Rotary. There's members of the Madison County Public Library. And yes, the students are part of the committees as well. But our chairs and co-chairs are members of the community
Right.
as well.
As far as the Boone's Trace Trail, are y'all working on opening it up? Is that part of?
Currently, it's a driving trail. It is open, and it is part of a driving trail at this point in time. The hiking piece has not been formalized yet.
Okay.
But the driving piece is formalized. It has all the cultural and historic assets on there, as well as places where people can stop, and the merchants are listed there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I sat in on a meeting, some people briefed me on that actual Boone's Trace Trail a few weeks ago, and it was actually pretty neat how long that trail's been there and how you can really define the trail if you know where it is, how neat that it is. I mean, it's been there for, hundreds of years. I mean, years and years and years. There was a part they're talking about down on Mount Vernon Road on 25 on south of Berea there. It's where the railroad tunnel, well, it's not a tunnel, but it's where the old railroad bed, I think, used to be. And they were looking about the potentials of opening it up, but I actually like the idea. So, any other questions, guys?
As I look around the wall there and play, I've been to about every one of those, but I can tell you right now, I didn't hike there. I drove there. But they're very interesting, and a lot of them are worth going to see. As you look around, I'm sure a lot of you all have been to a bunch of them, but
Are a lot of your students participate in the hiking and biking also? Good.
That's what we're doing tomorrow.
It looked to me like y'all slept a lot.
The students are required to gain the perspective of the adventure traveler so that they can authentically communicate to you and to others the thrill, the fun, and also the hospitality they enjoy as an adventure tourist.
And do you all also work with both Chamber of Commerce's in Berea and Richmond as well? Correct? And how many of our students that are here that are part of this program are not from the United States? Could we see hands for that? That's good.
That's great.
And how many are from
We have a copy of the letter here.
Sure.
Draft. I'd like to look over that. Got a few copies. We'll also make a Word file available so that you can make any changes that you see that need to be made.
I'll just keep.
We appreciate what you all are doing, and as Rita Smart said, the $15 return to a $1 investment, that's a pretty good ROI, as you stated, so we appreciate your work on this.
Well, since that's from my district, I would move that you sign the letter and let's get on with it.
How can I get this letter to you all?
We'll come get it.
How can I get a hold of you to let you know to come get it?
Dr. Summers is the chairperson of.
Okay, yeah. Be great.
I work at Eastern, so
Okay.
it's probably pretty convenient.
Yeah, no, that's great. We can email or whatever. I'd like to get it put on our letterhead and make it.
Hey, Ray, just mention Dr. Summers there. She's actually comes into the jail every week and does some counseling for me also.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I think this is a great program. A lot of young people are getting more involved in outdoor activities, getting away from golf and these slower leisure activities, and getting more involved in a little more exercise and cardiac activities. So I think this is a great experience to offer this not only for the community but the whole region. So I commend you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for being here. Great presentation.
It's in excess of 5 miles, by the way.
Do you walk though?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Hey, Sheriff, are you gonna speak on your tax settlement at all? Tommy, okay. I just want to know who to call up here.
Tom and I can't play.
Guys, thank you all for being here. That was great.
Some people say I can't either.
Everybody's spread out a little bit. Got a little elbow room. Yeah. At this time, Tommy, I'm gonna have you come up and talk to us about the tax settlement, 2014. Guys, y'all should have seen this in your packet. I don't know if y'all have any questions about all the taxes, and this is for all taxing districts. It's not just the county.
Each year, we have a independent person comes in and does our tax settlement, and he looks. State auditor has a final say when they come in, and this is the first step in that it's presented to you for you guys to look it over, ask questions, and look at that, and then our state revenue guy does the state portion. When he finishes his state portion, it triggers the state auditor's office to come in and do an audit of both our taxes and fee accounts. Any questions?
Guys, anybody got any questions? At this time, I will need a motion and a second to approve the 2014 sheriff's tax settlement.
So move.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate that. Next on the agenda is a resolution 15-07. It's about the pipeline compressor station. Guys, if y'all remember, several weeks ago, we actually passed a resolution on the liquid gas. And, you know, this is a pretty big ordeal. We're learning more and more as we go. Mr. and Ms. Larry Hensley live down in Red House, have really brought me up to speed a lot on it. They've done a lot of research because it really affects their residents. And the liquid gas pipeline and the compressor station are two different projects. All right, I want to make sure you all understand that. And so we felt like that we should pass a resolution with the compressor station, not just liquid gas, to make sure that we protect our community. And so at this time, I'm going to read the resolution, and then if y'all have any questions or anything, I'll try to answer the best I can. Whereas the health and safety of the citizens of Madison County are of the utmost importance to its governing body, and whereas our land, soil, water, and air are crucial parts of the health and safety, and whereas Tennessee Gas Pipeline Company, a subsidiary of Kindred Morgan, Inc., is proposing the Broad Run Expansion Project to expand transportation capacity of natural gas on its existing TGP system. And whereas this project includes the construction of a new bi-directional compressor station in Madison County, Kentucky, to be known as the Richmond Compressor Station 875. And whereas the new compressor station consists of one 16,000 horsepower ISO-rated Solar Mars 100 model C65 turbine compressor unit and necessary auxiliary equipment. And whereas in a separate certificate application for the ACRP, Tennessee proposes to add a new Taurus 70 compressor unit at the CS 875 facility, which will add 10,771 horsepower. Whereas the Broad Run Expansion Project and the ACRP project may both be conducting construction activities at the site, which is 875 site, within approximately the same time frame, and whereas temporary construction will impact 48.6 acres of grassland/agricultural vegetation, and permanent operation will impact 25 acres of grassland agricultural vegetation by permanent above-ground facilities or other developed services, gravel, asphalt. And whereas higher air emissions and pollutants will be generated due to the project site 875, including emissions of carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide equivalents, hazardous air pollutants, nitrogen oxides, particulate matter with an aerodynamic diameter of 2.5 microns or less, sulfur dioxide, and volatile organic compounds, none of which are currently present, which can be highly variable in intensity, frequency, or duration. And whereas additional continuous day and night noise will be generated by the CS 875 during construction, and whereas additional continuous day/night noise will be generated by the CS 875 during normal operations, generated by the following components of the site: compressor/valve building, the equipment door, building ventilation, comp suction and discharge piping, turbine exhaust, turbine inlet. And whereas day and night noise levels will be increased during blowdowns, which occur when the high pressure gas in the system is released, and whereas potential ground-borne vibrations from the site, and whereas wildlife habit will be affected, and whereas natural gas compressor stations are explosive and the station will only be remotely monitored from the Tennessee Gas Control Center located in Houston, Texas, and whereas the new CS 875 significantly affects the quality of the human, psychological, and the physical health and environment, and whereas a comprehensive environmental impact statement addressing the request of Tennessee Gas Pipeline Company, LLC, to build a new compressor station, number 875 in Madison County, Kentucky, as part of docket CP 15-77 has not been developed. Now, therefore, be it resolved, we, the Madison County Fiscal Court, oppose the construction of the new bi-directional compressor station in Madison County, Kentucky, to be known as the Richmond Compressor Station 875, on 89.8 acres of land that will negatively affect our land, water, and air, putting the health and safety of our citizens and our environment at risk. The Madison County Fiscal Court hereby adopts this resolution and authorizes the Madison County Judge Executive to sign and forward this resolution to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, which is known as FERC, and urges the FERC to deny the construction of the Richmond Compressor Station 875.
Judge, let me just comment on this. This is my district. I met with several residents in the Red House and Hackett Pike area. Most of them object to this project being completed because of the noise level. This compressor station is going to have the noise level, as you commented there, of the basically 3 or 4 times that of sound of a locomotive in a continuous noise level all the time. And not only they object to noise, but the what construction would be brought in to build this station, how much the roads would be damaged, how much the property around it would be damaged just to live that close to it. Even though this is a different project than the repurposing of the other Kinder Morgan project that's going through closer to Richmond, at some point this compressor station could be hooked on to the natural gas liquid project we're afraid to. So most everybody I've talked to in that area oppose this, and I think would be in favor of this resolution, Judge.
Okay. Is that a motion?
Yes, sir. I make a motion we accept this resolution.
I'll second.
Now, anybody else want to comment? We have some more discussion.
I think Tom and I heard, John and I heard one of the meetings we was at that there's not one a compressor this size in the state of Kentucky right now, and they're planning on 2 of them being in the state before it's over. But there's nothing to compare to it because there's nothing this big as far as this size in the state now.
One thing I want to change, I called this the Resolution 1507. That's what's on everybody's agendas. It's actually Resolution 1508. So your motion will be for Resolution 1508.
Okay.
Just want to make sure we get that. Any more comments? Call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Moving on, next is a contract between the detention center and the food service. Guys, this is going to start as of June 1st, 2015. We had actually Calwell came in at our last meeting and talked to us. I'm very excited about the change. It's saving a lot of money. You all have any questions? I need a motion and a second for the court to allow me to go into this agreement with Calwell.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion?
I think, Judge, anytime we can save some money and offer the same kind of services, and make sure we're backed up by any liability claims, that this is a no-win or no-lose situation. I mean, we're saving what, close to $300,000.
Substantial amount.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just for the record, our this past budget, we were around $685,000 is what the food service cost the jail. That's the employees, the food, and with this contract, we're going to be spending right around $1.18 per meal. That's 3 meals a day, which is we base that off 265 inmates. So make sure everybody understands that if we have 300 inmates, we have to feed 300. So that is going to float. It's going to fluctuate a little bit, but with 265 inmates all year long would be a $343,857 expenditure to the county versus $685.
Hey.
So it's a considerable amount. I mean, this is a no-brainer, guys, and I'm thankful to Doug for reaching out and looking into this. It's a good thing for us, especially in the situation we're in with our jail.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that just across the board, I mean, we said it at the last meeting, we said it again, you're to be commended for that, Doug. That's great work, and all of our department heads need to do the same thing. You need to be proactive and looking across to see ways to save the county money. That's a great job.
The thing about this, too, is the employees get the opportunity, those full-time employees get the opportunity to work with Calwell also. So
Right.
they're losing their jobs.
Yeah.
That's a good advantage there. We're not losing anybody. Nobody losing their job over this.
Yeah. So do we have a motion and a second?
Yep.
Let's call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Guys, it's more good news, I guess. Our salt bids came in, and I need a motion and a second to approve our salt purchase for next winter.
So moved.
Let's hope we don't have to use salt next winter, but if we do get it at a cheaper rate. Our bid came in at $85.10, so it's about $14.90 less than it was last year, so which is a good thing.
Second.
Was there not an even cheaper rate that came in last minute?
It wasn't.
Wasn't.
It was a misprint. We called and checked on it.
All right.
Yep.
Good.
You ready?
Do we have a motion and a second?
Roger.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
So call the roll, please.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. We're going to skip over. We've already done the first reading of our budget. Next is I'd like to ask the court's permission to appoint James Keaton to the Planning Commission. Robert McKinney has stepped down, and anytime y'all might see him out, thank him for his service. I think his wife is a little feeble, and he needed to step down to be able to take care of her. So at this time, I'd like a motion and a second to appoint James Keaton to the Madison County Planning Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Guys, this is an interlocal agreement. This is a justice assistant grant. I don't think that Cheryl's here. Do you know about the grant for the sheriff's department? Tommy, yeah, if you want to explain. It looks like, is it a joint grant between the city of Richmond and the sheriff's?
This is an ongoing grant. It's the Burn JAG grant.
Mm-hmm.
We refer to it as it's along with the city of Richmond and the Madison County Sheriff's Office. Each year that we apply and awarded funds for different projects. We've been using ours for vehicle leases to help on our vehicles, and the city of Richmond uses theirs for various projects that they have. Last year it was 15,000 something. The year before that it was 16 or 17, and this year it's 13.
Mm-hmm.
So it keeps decreasing, but
y'all just split it.
It's split.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the amount is, we share equally with the city of Richmond and the Madison County Sheriff's Office.
Is that a state grant, Tommy, or?
No, it's a
federal.
Federal grant. Yep.
Any questions?
I don't have any. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Anytime we can get these grants, I think it's great for our community. So
we just need to have a memorandum MOU with us in Richmond, and we've already started the process.
Right. Cheryl's working on this, correct?
Yes. We alternate responsibility for the grant. This year it was Richmond's turn, but with Bob Mott, who is the director of their new HIDA drug task force, he's very tied up, so we agreed that we'll do it again this year, and Richmond will be responsible for the next two.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't want to lose out because there's a short window when you get it started. The funds didn't even become available until sometime in the last week or so, and we've got to the last of June to get it in place, and it's very, very short window. That's why we went ahead and just asked Cheryl to proceed and get it started so we wouldn't lose out.
There's a lot of paperwork to that, Tommy.
Yes.
I figured it being federal, it would be.
Yes. There's all kinds of work to be done, and you can't just do it overnight, and that's why I talked to the sheriff about it, and he said, let's just go ahead and not take any chances on losing out. So
we've never been denied on it before, though, Tommy.
To my knowledge, we have not.
Got it.
And it's $13,757 is what the total amount is. That each government entity will get $68,7850.
Right. That's correct.
And that money used before have to go to their car payment.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mark, just for clarification, this is a interlocal agreement. Do I need to? Do I need to
ask for a motion authorizing you to
sign?
Yes.
And then also for the grant to go into the grant. Yeah, that's what I thought. Second. Call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
And just to make sure everybody knew, we were voting on me going into the interlocal agreement, signing for it. So at this point, I need a motion and a second to give Cheryl, obviously let her go in and apply for this grant.
Now, that's, you got a motion to sign and then the motion to apply
Right.
for? Okay.
Yes.
Move.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. At this time, I think, Mike, you going to come up? We got some bids to open for the audio-video project for the LC building.
Yeah, these are audio video. We got 4 bids in. What this is for the wiring and running cable in the EOC building. They want to try to do it before some of the walls, some of the floors came up. And we got 4 bids. What we'll do is, once those are open, we're going to take them back to our experts, mission critical partners. They'll evaluate them and hopefully come back to the next court meeting and make a recommendation on which bid to accept.
Great.
And Judge, I have opened the bids here in open court. They're all properly sealed and received in the appropriate time frame. Is that correct?
Correct.
Bids came from AVI Systems, Trinity Video Communications, M3 Technology Group, as well as the Creative Image Technologies. And again, we'll present these to Michael at the conclusion of the agenda this morning, and that he can make the appropriate recommendations from there.
Thank you.
Sounds great. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Next is the judge's report. Guys, we have a few jobs postings out there. We're actually doing interviews right now for some of the people that have applied for the road department. But we have heavy equipment operator, inmate work program coordinator, fleet management mechanical, solid waste truck driver, and general laborer. We also will be posting for CSET bookkeeper and EMA director next week. FEMA updates on all the flooding. FEMA's actually closed their SBA out at the JIC building, which is out on Keeneland. A lot of people did take advantage of that. They were actually reporting to me. And also a reminder that the Whitehall Park is closed until October 31st. But it might be quicker. I'm just not going to give it. I'm not going to give anybody hopes up yet, but it might be quicker. So I'm excited about getting that open back up. We were going to have comments from department heads from Bert and Marty today, but I think Marty's sick and Bert is slammed being down there by himself, so we'll have to postpone that. So, Billy, would you like to get up? And Billy's not a department head, guys. Sorry, it's just where I put him in.
For anybody who's watching, I am Billy Ackerman, Madison County PVA. I've met all of you guys, but for some of you, this is the first time that you're going through the tax rate decision process. So my part in that is to establish the assessments. And we are closing our assessment period where we do the reassessment work at the end of this week, and then we will send out letters to anybody who hasn't had an assessment increase. And we will have our conference period from June 1st through June 15th, and the last day to file an appeal is June 16th with the clerk's office. At that point, we actually close out the tax year and submit that information to the state for their certification. Once they've done that, then they will provide you all with that certified information so that you have the opportunity to set the tax rate. And if you all have anybody, any of your constituents that have issues or questions, make sure you send them to me. I know Magistrate Barger and Magistrate Combs have done that numerous times in the past. So if you all have any questions, let me know.
And they must, for the camera also, they must meet with Billy before they can come for a hearing. It's not either or. They got to talk to Billy, and hopefully they can work it out with him before they come to the hearing later in June.
That's good to get that information out, Billy. That's a short window. Just
it is
16 days there to be able to appeal your tax assessment there. So
it is, and we run into problems every year because if just because you're out of town or you didn't get that letter does not mean that we can then go back and adjust that. It's just that's the way the law is written. So
that's a busy time for you, and I know that, but you all have always handled it in the past.
We're looking for, it's tough, but it's also enjoyable, and it's good for us to meet with the public, and we get a lot of information during that time. We find out all kinds of characteristics that we wouldn't otherwise know. So.
What is the, I guess, the schedule for reevaluating property tax? I mean, what, you're on a certain, so many year schedule, go back and reevaluate, or what?
The way the state guidelines read is that we are supposed to physically inspect every property in the county every 4 years, but we're supposed to revalue as necessary. So theoretically, you could reevaluate a subdivision every single year. It's very, very unlikely that we would ever do that. But typically, we're trying to get through the entire county. The last couple of years, we've really caught up a lot, and we've really hit that main corridor on the I-75. Now we're really starting to work the outsides and working our way back in, because that's where a lot of the boundary and the mapping issues are. You know, so you all have read some of these old deeds that start where the rotted tree used to be. Well, there's no way to find that now. So we rely on the taxpayers to come in and help us find those boundaries. And that takes a lot more time than it does to hit 50 houses in the city of Richmond. So we're covering a bigger area, but fewer parcels, fewer properties.
How many evaluators do you actually have on the job?
At this point, I'm the only one doing assessments.
You're pretty busy then.
Well, I am, but I have an excellent crew that goes out and meets with the taxpayers, and they will go out and we'll measure the outside of the home or the property. We'll try and establish the boundaries to the best of our abilities. We'll take pictures. We do all of that kind of thing, and they do a really good job. Anytime we go onto someone's property, we knock on the door. We never go inside. But they do a really good job. Every once in a while they get somebody that's aggravated, but for the most part, people are relatively receptive. They don't want to see us, but
they got it.
But they got it.
Guys, anybody else?
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Billy. Appreciate you being here. Any other department heads? Philip?
Morning, everyone. Morning. On Saturday, May the 30th, we will be unveiling and dedicating Madison County's newest historical marker. And these are the shield type of markers that you'll see all across the state, ties the state together. And this will highlight the Old State Road, which is US 25-421. But instead of Madison County just going out here and doing our thing, we have partnered with Garrett County and Jessamine County. At 10 o'clock, we'll be at the Battle of Richmond Visitor Center. Then we will go in procession. I know a little bit about going in procession. To Camp Dick Robinson over in Garrett County for service there at 11:45, and then we will go on up to Camp Nelson at 12:45. This is the first time that the State Historical Society has done 3 ceremonies like this all in a row. So just wanted to, if you want to come out and see this, you don't have to go to all 3, but we have about 30 of these markers across the county, and we are in.
When is that in Richmond? When is it here?
At 10 o'clock on Saturday. And through another project we did about a year and a half ago, Madison County is in the top 2% of the condition of our Kentucky historical markers. And that plays back into tourism. It all plays together. So thank you all very much.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other department heads? Magistrates? Tom?
I just wanted to start off, I don't see Willie here, but I wanted to thank him. There's been a couple of calls that I've had over the last 2 weeks there involving some trees with the storms and things that we've had and getting those removed. And I've talked to those residents, and I appreciate those folks calling me. And for those people, I'd just like to say, I've already told them, but within the next couple of weeks, we'll get out there and get those things down off the properties and all of that. Also, going forward, I want to just continue to say that if you have problems, feel free to call us. That's what we're for. 200 9725 is my telephone number. Please call me and let me know if you have problems.
Thanks, Tom.
I'd just like to mention that I met with the road department this week, and I think the beams for the Cane Springs Bridge are due in the 18th of June. So hopefully 4th of July, a little bit after, we'll have one bridge back up. We're working on the Oakley Wells Bridge sliding some beams in under it, so within maybe a month, it might be up and operable. The Sam Jones Bridge is going to take a little bit longer. We're in the process of working with some engineers on that. I've had several people, like I said, complain about concerns about the pipeline being repurposed and the compressor station. I know of several dozen people that have actually wrote a letter of concern or voiced their email to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and hopefully that'll help. I noticed that actually the Bluegrass pipeline, they actually were able to stop that pipeline, and because of some of the comments that were inputted to the Federal Energy Regulatory Committee, so that's one good step. If they're able to stop the Bluegrass pipeline, maybe we put some control on the one going through Madison County too. So that's about all I got. If you got any problems, any questions, anything I can help you with, give me a call. I'd love to work with you. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Roger?
I'd like to give everybody an update on the ferry. We've got the new boat in the water and have had since the first of the year. Had a few problems with it to start off. I want people to know that this was not a cookie-cutter boat. This was a boat that we designed and built. So there's not another one out there like it. So some of our ideas that, not that they didn't work, but they had to be tweaked a little bit. So we had some breakdowns and lines, hydraulic lines that wanted to leak, not spraying a whole lot, but I mean just cooling problem. We had a cooling problem with it, but we've pretty much worked through all that. But the biggest thing about this whole grant, it goes through the state, but it's a federal grant, but we have to handle it through the state. And they wanted to bid the boat out themselves. So they started getting bids, and we had already got a bid or an estimate from somebody about what we wanted to build. And they were going on what specs we had shown for them to build. And they were $200,000 higher. They were $970,000, and our bid was running around $700,000. So they just kept preaching to us, how you going to come up with this extra money, because the grant's only $600,000. And I said, we're not going to come up with extra money. We're not going to build the boat if it's $900,000 because we can't afford it. So finally, they just, this went on for months, and it put us behind. And they finally called us to Frankfurt and said, we need you to prove that that your counties will back you up for $900,000. And I said, how many times do I have to tell you, if you got $10 in your pocket, you don't buy something that's $20. You just don't buy it. We're not going to build it. So they said, well, what are you going to do? And my vice chairman just happened to mention, said, why can't we bid the boat out? And they said, you can. It's just complicated and a lot of problems. But we did. We bid the boat out. Came out to $675,000, and that's what we built the boat for. It actually came out to $677,000. But we also, in the time frame of 5 years from the time we started this grant, we was able to lay back some money. And the boat, actually, we spent probably a little over $700,000 building the boat. As far as grant money and what money the counties gave us, the payoff was $677,000, which I paid off 2 Fridays ago. We also laid some money back to redo the barge, which is required by Coast Guard regulations every 5 years. So we knew that was coming. We had put some money back. We also got grant money to help do that with, but that was a $50,000 note that we paid off the same day. I paid both of them off the same day. We still got a little money left to operate on. The concern we have right now with all the water days that we were down, they allow us so much each year that they'll pay us for, even though we're not operating because of flooding, bad weather, whatever. Those days have been gone for quite a while. So we're operating on our money now with probably no more money coming from the state through the month of June. I don't think we'll have a problem paying our bills, and that's one thing I want to talk to you about on the budget. It's not a major thing. I think we've always had $5,000 back in reserve for the Valley View Ferry, and you've always given us $20,000. We've never had to use that $5,000, but I'd appreciate if it could be there in case we did need it. If we're tight, we can't get it, we can't get it. But as of the 10 years that I've been chairman, we've never had to use that $5,000, but it's good to know it's there if we need it. And if we can't put it in the budget, and that's fine. If I need your help, I'll ask for it. I don't care to ask for it, and I'm not going to ask for it until we need it.
Yeah.
But just wanted people to know that that we're watching after their tax dollars. I don't know why their bid was $200,000 higher. I got my own ideas, but I'm not going to make that public. But I think this is just what's happening across the country. Nobody's taking the time to check the price, and I don't care if it's a case of bottled water or if it's a new truck we're buying. You've got to check the price. There's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with having a service for 2 or 3 years and then check it and see if there's another service out there that's cheaper as good, because it happens. But that's all I got on the ferry, but the ferry is now running good. We plan on having a dedication later on this year. We're just trying to get through the summer and make sure the boat's operating okay. We've still got the old boat. Probably going to sell it, but we're hanging on to it just because of the breakdowns right now. And if we can make it through the summer and this other one's operating okay, then we'll end up selling it. It won't bring much money because it needs a lot of repairs. But we don't need it sitting down there unless we just need it for a backup.
Right.
Only other concern I have is roadside mowing. I think I mentioned it to you earlier. I don't know if Willie's planned on getting started. They may be out today. I don't know, but I just know the grass is getting kind of high on my roads, and I'm sure everybody else's is too. But that's all I got, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And they have been out mowing. They are out mowing. They just might not
They're
have
mowing
made
my district, right?
I think so.
We got 4 tractors. Don't worry, Roger, they'll get to yours. But you commented on something that's really interesting. You talked about state bidding this out, county bidding this out. Listen, just go back and look. You'll see on every bridge that we ever bid out, it's 20 to 30% higher every time the state bids it. It's because of all the regulations, they say, and the paperwork that somebody has to fill out, when in fact, we can do them cheaper. But a lot of times, that doesn't work, so you have to go by what they say, I understand. And I'm sure the parts off the old one won't fit the new one. And I know you run into an issue with the motor, but you got around that finally, and I was glad of that. I mean, that was unheard of, and it shouldn't have been brought up. But I have one thing here. I guess I need to ask the county attorney. On these co-ops, we've got $20,000 in here where we've changed the draft on the budget for co-op firefighters. If one of those firefighters get hurt, are we covered?
Let me look at that. My hunch is probably through KECO, but since they are volunteers, let me double check on that.
Okay, I would just like to know. Well, I mean, and it's good for the chief. I mean, I think the chief said that probably be covered on a COBRA plan, but I would just like to be sure of that, if that is the case.
We'll double check.
We're glad to have them, don't get me wrong, and I know they come in at times, but let's be sure that we're covered there. And Judge, you mentioned something about work release. We're going to hire somebody. I mean, isn't that under the jail? Doug, don't you take care of that?
We're looking to potentially next year.
But this year's budget or next year's budget?
Well, it potentially will be in this year's budget because of the spring, but we're potentially looking at having our own work crew for the county instead of replacing them with some of our seasonal. We could have full-time people, and we could have a deputy. I want them to have some kind of deputy experience to potentially have 5 inmates out doing the mowing. We'd be paying 1 deputy instead of paying 4 or 5 seasonal. Plus, we'd have that program going on where it's 12 months out of the year versus only 9.
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but the way
it's got to be in the budget.
I would think that person would have to be deputized to.
That's what we're Blake and I have been talking, and that's something that we get together, whoever we hire, we have to make sure they meet the criteria, for the work and for each one and under me. I'm potentially responsible for being a sworn officer, so that's something we can work with.
But they would do like, some of my ideas of job duties would be mowing the parks, would be doing cleanup stuff down around the road departments, 2 and 1, snow removal around all the courthouse buildings, like even for family court and all of our buildings, because, this year it was such, we did have some inmate help, but, they were little paths. We'd have these guys out, working an actual 8-hour day.
Well, I mean, I think it's good that we do that, but every time we add another person to the payroll, the payroll.
Well, but and I understand that, but you'll be adding one to the payroll, but you'll be taking off 4 or 5 seasonals. So it's not really an increase.
Well, you know, you're using their inmates. We got to make sure that, you know, it's all volunteer, that they're willing to do that, and then we got to make sure that we're covered under any kind of liability for them working,
Well, that's
you know.
the reason I asked the county attorney about the firefighters co-ops, you know. And let's make sure every I's dotted and every T's crossed.
Sure. And you know too, that this position would have to be voted on by this court.
I understand that, but there was just a question when you threw that out, and I haven't read the paper, so I didn't know, but other than that, I'm just glad to be here. Thank you.
Glad you're here. Any comments from the audience? All right, this time. Yeah, sorry.
Bill Robinson, I'm the former editor of the Richmond Register, and I'd like to introduce my successor here, Jonathan Green, starting his first day.
Meet you.
Glad you're here.
Looking forward to having him here, and I think he's going to do a lot for us.
Yeah, good.
Do you think he'll cover all our meetings, Bill?
Well, probably, whatever Jonathan wants me to do.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah.
I'd like to recognize Mr. Harold Richardson back there. He's always asked me for rock every year on his road, and he don't even live in my district, but I think he's in John's district. I just want him to know that in case.
He lives the city limits, Roger.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Harold.
Yeah, that's good. At this time, I need a motion to pay the claims, approve the transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next court date is Tuesday, June the 9th, 2015, and it's here in Richmond. Again, that's Tuesday, June 9th, 2015, here in Richmond. At this time, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Call the roll.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor? Yes. Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.